Welcome to another show. Today, we're going to look at Chapter 4 of my novel on Captain Kirk meets T.J. Hooker. This is Mirrors and Masks. Just want to mention, I've used the stylings of author Theodore Sturgeon, who has written for Star Trek before, and Mickey Spillane, who was a noir detective type of writer, and that kind of meshed the two genres together. I know Spillane's not a police procedural type of writer, but a noir detective, but it's close enough, so that's what I did. And here is Chapter 4, Mirrors and Masks. Kirk waited. He had learned long ago that patience was not passive. It was a weapon, one that required timing, awareness, and a willingness to act the instant opportunity appeared. The Andorians had taken his communicator. They had not taken his instincts. The door to his cell opened again. Not Trashson this time. 2 guards. Tighter posture, less confidence. Good. Kirk stayed seated, watching them carefully as they approached. "You will come with us," one said. "Of course I will," Kirk replied pleasantly. "You wouldn't be here otherwise." They didn't react, but their antennae shifted. Nervous, Kirk stood. The corridor outside the cell wasn't Andorian. It looked like it. Same ice, same architecture. But the details were wrong. The lighting flickered just slightly out of sync. The air carried a faint vibration beneath the silence. Kirk noticed everything. "You've made modifications," he said. The guards didn't answer. He smiled faintly. "Romulan engineering tends to hum," he added. "Andorian doesn't." One of the guards hesitated. That was enough. They reached an intersection. Timing. Kirk moved fast. He pivoted, grabbing the nearest guard's weapon, twisting free before the second could react. A precise strike, controlled, efficient. The second guard dropped. Kirk caught the first before he hit the ground, easing him down. "No hard feelings," he said. He checked the weapon. Functional. Good. Meanwhile, on the Enterprise, Hooker stood on the bridge, watching sensor data scroll past. None of it made sense to him, but patterns did. "That signal," he said. "It's not just noise." Spock glanced at him. "Explain." Hooker pointed. "It repeats. Not evenly, but deliberately, like someone trying not to be noticed." Spock adjusted the filters. The pattern clarified. "Romulan encryption," he said. "Embedded within a temporal carrier wave." Hooker nodded. "Yeah, that's your problem." "We're going down," Kirk's voice came over the intercom. Hooker looked up sharply. "Captain?" "Long story," Kirk replied. "I've secured partial control of the facility. You've got about 5 minutes before they realize it." Hooker blinked. "I like this guy." Spock moved immediately. "Prepare an away team." Hooker stepped forward. "I'm coming." Spock looked at him. "That is not necessary." Hooker met his gaze. "Neither is half of what we've done tonight." Spock considered, then nodded. "Very well." The transporter beam dissolved them into cold light. They rematerialized inside the facility. Hooker's first thought? Too quiet. Kirk stepped into view moments later, weapon in hand, expression sharp and alert. He stopped, looked at Hooker. For a moment, 2 identical silhouettes faced each other. Same height, same stance, same instinctive readiness. Kirk broke the silence. "I don't suppose you're me?" Hooker shook his head. "Not on my best day." Kirk nodded. "Good. One of me is enough." McCoy muttered behind them. "I'm going to need 2 drinks." Spock stepped forward. "Admiral, your presence resolves the immediate diplomatic complication." Kirk glanced at Hooker again. "He handled it? Effectively," Spock said. Kirk gave a small approving nod. "Then I owe you." Hooker shrugged. "Just doing the job." Kirk smiled faintly. "Same here." Gary 7 entered the chamber, scanning the walls. "The facility isn't stable," he said. Spock agreed. "Temporal distortion increasing." Kirk frowned. "Explain." Gary looked at him. The Klingon vessel that traveled back from your century. It didn't just pass through time, it tore through it. Kirk's expression shifted. The whale probe mission? Yes, Gary said. And the Romulans found the scar it left. He gestured to the surrounding structure. They've built this into it. Hooker looked around. So this whole place is a time bomb, Gary nodded. That's exactly what it is. Alarm sounded. Too late. They know we're here, Kirk said. Then we leave, Hooker replied. Agreed. They moved quickly. Kirk leading. Hooker covering angles like instinct had never let him down. Romano and Corrigan followed seamlessly. Stacy stayed sharp, watching the rear. They moved like a team. Not the same team, but close enough. The transporter beam caught them just as the corridor erupted behind them. They rematerialized aboard the Enterprise. Safe. For now. Kirk stepped onto the bridge. Status? Spock answered immediately. Andorian negotiations stabilized. However, Gary interrupted, the temporal fracture remains. He brought up the display. Earth. Highlighted. Centered there, he said. Kirk frowned. That's not good. No, Gary said quietly. It isn't. Corrigan crossed his arms. So now what? Gary turned to Hooker and his team. You don't go home. Silence. Romano blinked. Come again? Sending you back now risks reopening the fracture, Gary said. And this time, it won't stabilize. Hooker processed that, slowly, then nodded. Temporary assignment. Kirk met his eye. Temporary. Hooker gave a faint smile. Yeah, let's hope. The Enterprise turned towards Earth. Space dock waited. Politics waited. And beneath it all, time itself was still broken. Gary Seven stood at the viewport, watching, calculating. For the first time in a long time, uncertain. Whatever this becomes, Roberta said quietly beside him, we're already part of it. Gary didn't answer, because for once, he didn't know the outcome. Stars stretched into lines. The mission continued. And that was our show for today. I hope you're enjoying these chapters of my novel that I'm writing, of Captain Kirk meets T.J. Hooker. That was chapter 4. Coming up next will be chapter 5. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing, I hope you subscribe to my channel. Click that little bell to stay informed. And check out the Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise, which is also in the comments section. I do want to stress that these are abridged versions of the chapter. The actual novel will be more fleshed out and have more detail. Until next time, this is Kevin Gibbons saying, live long and prosper. May the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.